Hello, and welcome to Oracle Storytelling. Hi, I'm Sarah of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts. You can find my arts on Instagram and on Facebook and on my website by searching Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts. And you can find some videos here on my YouTube channel. You can also find other intuitive Oracle storytelling videos and different playlists. But hello, hi. Right now, it is September. Wow, September. And I thought it would be a good idea to look at Divine Oracle with some cards, some books, the idea of what's building, what is rebuilding. Because I think it is very easy to notice and see what's kind of falling, what's crumbling, right? What is an erosion? Or what's we're kind of chasing, what's elusive to us right now. Or even for myself, I feel like it's very easy for me to notice either the erosion happening or the renewal happening. And something that has been on my mind because of work being done at neighbors' homes is this idea of rebuilding. I'm literally next to a house that has scaffolding all over it, and it's in the process of renewal, right? But there's this aspect of tearing down intentionally, eroding and taking away to then build up and refresh, renew. I have another neighbor that constantly has work trucks in front of their home, and they're in the process of, removing certain things that maybe are in erosion or decay, and then replacing them in renewal. So for myself, and maybe you're like me, sometimes I only see the erosion. Sometimes I only notice the renewal in really strong ways. Or intuitively, maybe you're like, I sense that this is departing. This person, place, situation, thing is departing in my life. Or I really intuitively, psychically sense that this thing is coming into my life. But I just thought it's very interesting to consider when we are actively engaging in the role of the rebuilding. And rebuilding meaning we have to scoop things away. We have to clear things away. Many of you might be familiar with the tarot and the card that's the Tower, or have heard of the Dark Night of the Soul or some iteration of that. And this concept of things being taken away, things crumbling. And if you think about the image of a tower that's been crumbled, well, two things are going to happen if this tower is your foundation for you, for yourself, for your home, etc. You're going to be removing the debris, clearing out the rubble, right? We're clearing out the rubble, but it's necessary to build on the foundation, right? It's necessary to go to twofold, clear out, right? And then it's clearing out to renew, but it's a very active, intentional process. And I just found this so interesting. I'm surrounded by homes that I think are going to be selling and ones that are in these states of renewal. And again, it's kind of this twofold, right? Because it's this active engagement. It's not waiting till something is absolutely kaputs, done for, to then step in and say totally replace something. It's this intersection, right? This teeter-totter of we're taking this away, or this is going away, and we're renewing or making new one aspect of it. And I think that's very representative of way more accurate of what is actually happening around us and to us all the time, where parts of us are in erosion and parts of us are in renewal. And the necessity for that, to find, to do this kind of rebuilding where we're trying to find, we're finding balance in our life. Sometimes through intentional known action, sometimes unconscious action. Life finds a way, the universe finds a way to get this balance. But truly, what's happening that we don't see all the time is the both and. Because sometimes our focus and intention and awareness is on, we're renewing this aspect of your life, or we're grieving and shedding another part of our life. And I just think it's important to be mindful of that. Another way to think about it could be, if we know that we're actively cultivating a process of erosion of something, or we're in a process of renewal, we can't have one without the other. There is a balance. So if we're actively in a process of renewal, we are cultivating the erosion of something else. If we're actively in the process of erosion, renewal, or erosion, disposal, etc., of one aspect in our life, of ourself, we are simultaneously, consciously or not, cultivating a renewal. So even though our intention and focus, our wishes, hopes, dreams, etc., might be about bringing in this one thing or letting go of something else, there is this universal balance and flow. And I think it's very, it's just an important thing to keep in mind, especially, especially if we're seeing things going, oh, it's just this loss. Like, it makes us sad. It makes us great. There's something that is hard for us to deal with. To remember that we can't be shedding, we can't have this erosion, this disillusion, this whatever it is, removal of one thing without cultivating renewal. And we can't have a renewal without cultivating an erosion. And I just wanted to start off by saying that. I have a couple beautiful books that I'm just going to do a divination, read a passage, and pull a couple cards. But that's really the intention here, is to see a little clearer that there is this little universal balance going on, okay? This flow. And it's in process, and it's going on. And even if we're like, I put all my focus and attention on this thing, I don't know about that thing. You don't have to. It's already happening. So I just thought that was good to keep in mind. We're always, it's that idea of, I think we get stuck on things too. Sometimes it's the idea of, we're trying to find balance. It's funny because sometimes that can be, we just haven't decided where we're putting our attention yet. And if we're choosing one thing, again, if we're cultivating one thing, or in disillusion, removal of something else, it's a balance, okay? We usher something out, simultaneously we're calling something in. We're calling something in, we're simultaneously letting something else rest, okay? So I'm going to draw a card from the Through the Eyes of the Soul deck. And just about this. So words like balance, words like builder. Woohoo! Ooh, this is exciting. What a beautiful picture. So we got card number 8, create, activate your DNA. This give me chills. So playing around with my lighting today, so we'll see. So another thing that I am cultivating in my life for sure is a relationship with my ancestors. I actually have an ancestral Slavic magic book I'm going to do a little divination from. But so what do we see here? And I think, oh, this is another great example. So if you look right here, so it's create, activate your DNA. Just look at the card. Look at the imagery on the card here. So when we're talking about balance and build, right? It actually, so this makes me think of balance. These are like little, her hair is kind of activating like little strands of DNA. Okay. And if you notice, like this is in a balance, right? So we are tuned into the universe through being on this planet, through activating our cells, the DNA in our cells. This is in balance. Our DNA is allowing us to find our personal balance. And this makes me think of like, ooh, like cells and cellular memory, right? All of these spaces that we built and created through the process of, think about when you're renewing something, you're calling something and you're creating, right? Ooh, even this, the 8, this is lovely. So even the number 8, all right? That's the balance. This is the balance, all right? In fact, think of the 8 as like the shape of 8 as an hourglass, okay? So an hourglass has sand in it. So if we are, think of when you tip over an hourglass and the sand pours from one side down, right? So it's filling up, it has one full side, and so in this example, when we're calling in something, like we're renewing something, we're activating something, right? We're calling this in. We flip that hourglass and we start to call it in, and the sand is pouring towards this new thing, or this thing that is renewed. And what's happening on the other side? That's the erosion, okay? That's the balance. If you think of it that way, when we cultivate one thing, we're cultivating the other. So as we're filling our cup on this side, right? We're emptying our cup on the other. This is balance. This is finding our balance. This is a balance. And it's always happening because we have our place, our balance in the universe. We have our place and balance on this earth. So again, just coming back to different ways to think that, instead of thinking, oh, glass half empty, glass half full. No, glass in perfect harmony. Glass is, think of an hourglass. You turn it over and you are, at every point in your life, when we're flipping this hourglass, we're cultivating one thing, conjuring one thing, as we're actively also dismissing, removing, allowing space by eroding something else. All right, and because this reminded me of ancestry, I'm going to go ahead and do a little divination from this book. Okay. I guess just like some kind of wisdom, like generational wisdom. Human beings have been doing this forever. We have been witness to the renewal and erosion around us. We have rebuilt over and over. We have learned how to cultivate within ourselves. whether or not we knew that there was a balance in place, that when we bring in, something else is eroding. When something is eroding and we're grieving, we're renewing and bringing in. It's never polarizing like one or the other. Our attention, our awareness might be on one side or the other, right? Like when we flip the hourglass, we might just notice, oh God, like all the sand is here. And we might place all our value on the side that has the sand and not even realize the symbiotic connection between the two. You could not cultivate without culling. Okay. So on that note, I think one of my family members was helping me here. So I'll just read. So the title on the page that I got is Transitional Rites and Understanding Death. So transition. These are big transitions, right? Times that we, so understand. Wow, transitional rites and understanding death. Let me just read a little bit. It is not surprising that modern people have forgotten how to interact with the dead. Love it. After all, the transition of living to dead is the natural process. This is how the world works, the cycle of nature. This is who we are. And if you cannot truly realize that death is real and part of your existence, you will not understand that life is real. So already, this is talking about that balance. This is balance. These are cycles, life and death cycles, okay? You will probably witness the deaths of your older relatives before you die yourself. However, you may not recognize that you constantly interact with the energies of death in your everyday life. Oh, that's already good. Cycles. Yes, renewal, erosion. Take, for example, food. By eating, you take away the energy of a living entity, even if it is innate, like fruit and vegetables. To avoid disrupting the harmony of the system, it is necessary to maintain a balance between the living and dead, recognize the importance of both states, and follow the rules of their interactions. People can properly let go of deceased beings so our spirit can continue to exit safely into other forms, and the energy remaining from her will not bring harm but benefit. So obviously this goes into rights and whatnot, but I think this is a perfect example, again, of kind of this harmony, this balance, right? So you eat the food, and to give yourself energy and renewal, you have to take the living energy out of the food. So when I'm making myself dinner and I'm chopping up all these vegetables, right? So to feed myself life force energy, I'm taking the life force energy from this food. Now this is just one kind of example of many, many we're talking about. But again, this just speaks to balance, right? Like even if we only said only great things can happen to me, or only great things, or only bad things, and so I can only receive, and that's how it works. Or people can only take. Neither is true. You just know, like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not right. But you might have gone through times where you're like, only everything can be taken from me and nothing's happening. Nothing's coming in. Or everything's coming in and nothing's going away. It's like, that's funny. I love when that just fell. All right, so I'm going to draw a card from the Akashic Tarot from these sisters, Sharon Ann Klinger and Sandra Ann Taylor. I'm pretty sure they're sisters. And I think that's really cool that they're sisters and they work together and they do. This is a tarot deck. I usually don't do tarot, but it's a tarot deck. So let's see. Wow, so we're getting pretty universal. So we might be getting a cosmic message right now because we seem to be building out and out and out. And we got life and death. Maybe this will be a more universal cosmic message. Oh, okay. 2 cards. And they're both very cosmic universal messages. Cool. Okay. So one is Queen of Forces. Do you see the cosmic universal energies here? The balance. I mean, she's even standing in this beautiful balance. It reminds me of the Two of Pentacles, where it's somebody standing with like two pentacles, two coins, and it's this balance. I love the whole thing's falling. That's hilarious. See? Cultivating balance and it falls. Like, just like I said. So big universal energies and balance, right? The sun and the moon. Hello. Think about those. You know, those huge universally balanced things. We need both forces, right? Here's the Queen of Forces. We have land and water, you know. We have the mutable and we have the solid, right? We need one with the other. We need one with the other. Here's a spectrum of color, this vision of color that we see, and then also the inhibition that we feel of color in the darkness, right? It's these, it's perfect. It's the opposites, right? One cultivates the other. We don't know the light without the darkness without the light, and one can't exist without the other. It's a universal balance. Gorgeous. And then loving elementals. I love this. So here we're talking about, again, universal cosmic energies. So this speaks more to, you could think of this like a balance in nature. The cultivation of insights from the seen and the unseen that feed and navigate our life. I just love these little fairy babies. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to do one more divination from this book. This is the second book by Vina Hill. Vina Hill, beautiful, beautiful woman. Love her. I mean, her energy. She transmits such a beautiful energy. She's just a wonderful... She's a wonderful person who has helped me a lot just by putting herself out there and on video and through her words that she's written. Beautiful person. All right. Well, we just went, and this is a perfect. Her first book is about her NDE, and this is also, but it's again this larger cosmic picture. So, all right, Vina, we're gonna channel our last message. We're going out. We're going out at least to looking at our world, and we're going more and more cosmic. So let's get a message about the universal balance. Let's channel this. Let's do this, okay? I'm getting all tingly in my third eye. I'm getting words dropping in. So weird. Keep getting surprise. So what I opened up to is a chapter called Astrology. And I just want to speak on that really quickly to say, I look to my astrology and I listen to different astrologers. I'm like an amateur astrologer, very amateur. But astrology is nothing you have to believe in. Astrology is something I experience, okay? Astrology is all about the cycles of your life. It's about cycles. It's about cycles not just of this planet, but other planets, and how we are all in life cycle together with planets, in the collective and personally. You know, astrology can be looked at as a science when you think of it in terms of charting cycles in your life, charting cycles, just it's cycles in nature, right? It's cycles of these grand, it's all these planets. So it's on this grand scale of like what you're cultivating and what's eroding, erosion and renewal. And maybe this is just kind of a reminder that, you know, one way that you can tap in if you're feeling like you're not really seeing any renewal and you're feeling kind of, astrology is something that is actually very beautiful and comforting. If you're feeling, you don't even have to look specifically at your own chart. You could just tap into an astrologer you like, find an astrologer online even, and just think, just hear what's happening globally, collectively, and have a sense of, it's not just me. Like, you're having your own personal experience of something, but it's not just you. You're not alone. You're never alone, even in huge cycles. Astrology can really be comforting, and a comforting reminder to let you know it's not just you. You're not alone. You're going through big cycles collectively. They may affect different areas of your life. They may cultivate different things in you for different periods of time. They may cause more erosion or renewal in different aspects of your life. But you're not alone. You're not alone. So this may be just a reminder. Let's see. I think that's what I want to kind of express, is just that much, much larger cycle about astrology. And just kind of a reminder to say, if you want to feel a sense of comfort and connection, that is one way that you can understand that even the things that feel like such large, heavy cycles, or something just explodes in your life, you don't get why. It's okay to look at the astrology. It's okay to get some companionship by understanding, oh my gosh, like, that just happened with this planet, and these are things I'm experiencing, but other people are experiencing that. It just gives that one. Sometimes it can just be such a comfort, especially if you're moving through challenge after challenge, when you're feel an overwhelm of something, to kind of go, oh, okay. Or even maybe you're like, oh God, it's gonna be forever. Well, maybe you really identify with something going on planetary wise as soon as you hear it. And you might also hear, oh, well, how long is this happening for? And it gives you a little sense of relief and a reminder that life is cycles, and we cultivate different things at different times. And sometimes, again, we can only see one side of it. We can only really recognize, and we're kind of like a veil or shadows put up, and we can't see the other. But just like this card, just like this DNA, this weaving, just like the number 8, just like this hourglass, especially if all we're seeing is the empty part, what's been removed is an open space. And before we know it, that glass is going to tilt, and that open space is now being filled. Another aspect of our life is being cleared and made space. And it's just a cycle. Cycles of life. And we're not alone. We are in it together in so many different ways. And we are loved, always. And that love is ever present and attainable and felt at all times. And we each have different methods of feeling that. Sometimes we feel like we do things for ourselves and we connect to ourselves and we feel that love. Sometimes it's our higher self. Sometimes it's our angels, our guides. Sometimes it's our ancestors. Sometimes it is a deity. Sometimes it is just seen in the faces of our loved ones. Sometimes it's holding a stone. Sometimes it's lighting a candle. Sometimes it's a sense memory that puts us in a harmonious, peaceful mind. So just some things to remember. I put this video out as a point of renewal, okay? And in assistance to renew and erode what needs to erode. And hysterically, I love that this fell behind me as we were speaking about these cycles. And now we have the top cleared out. And a renewal here, and hopefully you've been renewed a bit with me here, and something has lifted, be it conscious or unconscious for you through viewing this. You are deeply loved, and you are always, always full of innate worth. Until next time.